What's the kid from 2.5 Men doing here? A little about myself. When I was 13, I went to the doctors and he said, Keith, you're autistic? I was like, sweet, I like to draw. And he was like, no, you don't understand. You have a social disorder called Asperger's syndrome. I was like, oh, what's that? He's like, oh, it's no big deal. You're just going to have a hard time making friends and you're never going to get laid. So I was like, oh, well, can I still get to draw? Looking forward to that. I really do have autism, and after every single show, people always ask me this. I did a show last night, and this girl came up to me, and she's like, hey, are you really autistic? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, you could hardly tell. So I was like, hey, are you really a girl? She's like, yeah. I was like, you could hardly tell. I always got picked on in school for having Asperger's by this kid named Josh. He used to beat me up and stuff. And he told me if I told anyone, he'd say he'd kill me. And that's very serious stuff, you know? So I came home one day with all these bruises and marks all over my face. My dad was like, Keith, what happened? I was like, oh, Josh did this to me. He said if I told anyone, he'd say he'd kill me. So I told the school you did it. I got a 3-week vacation from my dad. By round of applause, how many people show up late once in their lifetime for school? Yeah? Well, when you show up late, the teacher would always be like, hey, why were you late? And you probably said something like, oh, I'm late because I was up all night studying, you know? And they'd be like, where's your homework? You'd be like, the dog ate it. But when you have Asperger's, it's so really honest, I'd show up late, and the teacher would be like, Keith, why were you late? And I was like, oh, I'm late because I was up all night watching adult videos. And they'd be like, where's your homework? I was like, you don't want my homework. I was like, let's just give me a C. Yeah. So they gave me a C me after class. And that's how I lost my virginity. My ass still hurts. I went to the bank today to get some money because I knew it was going to be at the Irvine Improv. And the bank teller said, Keith, your account's outstanding. And I was like, oh, thanks, I think this is an outstanding bank. And they were like, no, you don't understand, you overdrew your account and you owe us $75. I was like, oh, I guess I'll write you a check. And then I went to Starbucks to get a cup of Joe. And this girl at Starbucks, she comes up to me and she's like, excuse me, are you single? And I was like, why, yes I am. And she's like, great, I'd like to introduce you to my gay friend, Greg. So I had coffee with Greg. And then I went to the Red Box to get a movie. I don't know if you know what the Red Box is, but the Red Box, you know, they give you movies for $1. But I watch a lot of adult videos and they're not in the Red Box, so it kind of sucked. What I'm going to do is I'm starting to save a savings account, you know, to sell adult videos at a Red Box. I'm going to call it a pink box. Anyways, so I'm standing behind in the line at the Red Box, and this girl is in front of me, and she has the most beautiful behind ever. And when you have Asperger's, you kind of like look at chicks creepy when you're checking them out. So like she turns and she catches me. I'm all like, nice. And then she turns and she gets her boyfriend and he catches me. I was like, oh, that's not good, you know? And I was like, oh, this guy's gonna hit me. So he comes up to me and he's like, hey, were you just checking out my girl in her pervy way? And I was like thinking fast, because, you know, I'm a fast thinker, you know? I was like, no, sir. I was checking you out in a pervy way. It's like, I'd ride you like I'd ride my bicycle, man. No helmets, yeah? I got a weight problem. I'm trying to lose weight, but it's because I overeat. So I went to an Overeaters Anonymous meeting once. I don't know if you've ever been to one of these, but there's not a snack in sight. And I'm thinking they could get more people if they have like an all-you-could-eat buffet or something. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting in a circle, and these guys are talking about how much they overeat and stuff. And I turned to this one guy on my left. I was like, "Hey, man, you got anything on you?" He's like, "No, I just got my 1 month chip." And I was like, "Chips? Why are you holding out?" If he had autism, that joke's funny. dating's hard when you have Asperger's too. You know, I think dating's just hard in general because there's all these dating sites. You know, there's eHarmony, Match.com, Megan's Law, and it's like gets confusing because like whenever I get a girl's phone number, I'll text it. But the problem is I don't see social cues, so I'll just keep texting. I'll be like, "Hey, Sen, how are you, Sen? I'm at the Irvine Improv. Sen, you should come see me. Sen, did you get my first text message? Sen, it was hey, Sen." And after like 500 text messages, she responds in all caps, "Stop texting me." So then I respond, "Do you prefer if I call?" Happy face, Sen. Dick pic, Sen. But no, it's so hard. Like, I did this show last night here, and this girl came up to me after a show. She's like, "Hey, you're really funny. You want to go back to your place?" I was like, "Yeah." That's where I sleep after shows, my place, yeah. So we go back to my place, and I had to explain to her my family moved in after the fire. You know? So we go upstairs, and she starts kissing me, and she whispers in my ear, "If you tie me up, you can do whatever you want." So I tied her up, and I started playing video games. I'm on level 4 of Mortal Kombat. Having Asperger's is hard on jobs too. Like before I became a comedian, I was a babysitter, and that job sucks, man, because I don't like babies, and sitting on babies is uncomfortable. They always move, and you're like, "Stay put." No. But I used to work at a grocery store, and that job sucks when you have a social disorder because you have to socialize with people. I'm not very good at socializing, you know? So I was scanning this guy's groceries, and I was like, "Hi, how are you?" Because I'm socializing. And he's like, "Horrible. I just saw my wife cheat on me with my brother, and I just feel like letting go." I was like, "Oh, do you have a Ralph's card?" I was like, "I can't help you with your marriage problems, but if you had a Ralph's card, I could save you 7 cents on that bottle of rat poison you're buying." I never saw the guy again. Another thing that sucks about working at the grocery store was like this guy came in once and he bought condoms, and I was like trying to socialize because I want to make friends. I'm in desperate need for friends, you know. So I was like, "Oh, condoms, huh?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, gonna have a good night tonight, huh?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna pound a girl." I was like, "All right, whatever that means." So then, like 5 minutes later, a girl comes in and she bought condoms. And I'm like, trying to socialize with her, trying to make friends. I was like, "Expecting a pounding tonight, huh?" I think you just missed a pounder over 3 minutes ago. So that's how I got fired from Ralph's. I was watching TV the other day with this girl, and 5 minutes into it, she looks at me and she's like, "I don't like this movie. This movie's stupid." I was like, "Yeah, this movie's stupid." So then we turn on a rated R movie, and 5 minutes into it, she looks at me and she's like, "I don't like this movie. This movie scares me." I was like, "Yeah, this movie scares me too." So then we turn on an adult video, because I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I have autism, and all I do is watch adult videos. So we're watching the adult video, you know, and 5 minutes into it, she looks at me and she's like, "Oh, I wish you could do that to me." And I look at her and I'm like, "You know you only have one dick, right?" No, you didn't like that one? Yeah, because maybe you don't watch adult videos, but it's basically a girl getting slammed by 30 dudes. Yeah, that's my guy. Me and that guy have autism. All right, you guys are a small but mighty crowd, right, guys? Huh? Come on, make some noise. Are you guys ready for your first comedian? Get loud, guys. Come on, the first comedian. He's been on Comedy Central.